Morning. Out here again, just a working. Oh, a little update on what I did over the weekend. Did another, this was a tactical survival trip that I took. That makes two back-to-back weekends doing survival trips. One was longer, and just two of us. This last weekend was with another group of people that I know. We all coordinated and we all went out to an area down where people knew we were going to be, so we didn't really have to do a whole lot for security, serious security. We did do overnight, we did a security patrol. We all lined up, walked through the whole area, marked the high avenues of approach where it'd be easier for enemies to get through, just to kind of show everybody how it works and what you're supposed to do, and the importance of staying quiet whenever you stop to try to figure something out, get 360 security going on. So we did that, and then throughout the night, everybody had a 1 hour shift with a buddy team for patrolling the area around the camp, just to make sure that nobody was coming in, nobody was doing anything wrong. My shift was midnight to 01, and then we didn't have enough people for everybody to do it one time, so I had another shift from 06 to 07. And the first one, that wasn't too bad. I managed to kind of doze off a little bit. We got done with the perimeter patrol. We got done with that around, I think it was 10:30 by the time we finally laid down. I managed to doze off a little bit between 10:30 and my shift at midnight. But once we were done, it wasn't too bad for the first shift, midnight to 1. The one that got bad, it was after that, from the dew being on the ground and the temperature dropping. There was a little bit of a breeze. Once I laid down from that, I was freezing. Tell you what, I'm done with that hammock. I'm not doing any more hammocks. But we got done with that, walking around through all the tall grass and the brush and all. We got covered in dew. And I wasn't wearing any waterproof anything. Just standard BDUs and my tan boots. And I got pretty wet from walking around doing my security patrol. And when I laid back down in my hammock, I had the hammock itself, a tarp over top of it, and then I had a extreme cold weather top that I was issued, back in the day. It's kind of like, basically, if you've got the pants and the top on, you're wearing a sleeping bag. It's the same thickness and same material and everything as a sleeping bag. It's just got arms and legs. But I had the top for that, and I put on my Polypro top. So I was pretty warm up top. But my legs, I didn't have the extreme cold weather bottoms or a sleeping bag. I just had a moving blanket, because that was a good spare blanket that I could throw into my bag for kind of space reasons. And it worked out pretty well on the last trip that I took. But for this trip, it did not work. My feet were frozen. My legs were pretty cold. So I tried wrapping up as much as I could on that. Didn't get any sleep. Pretty much just laid there awake until my next security detail from 6 to 7. And I was so happy when they came over and got me for my watch. Oh man, I thought, thank goodness. Usually you're kind of annoyed when you get woke up for your shift because you haven't gotten enough sleep, but oh man, I was freezing. I was just laying there awake, bored. A lot of people say, oh, why didn't you start a fire? Well, since this was a tactical event, the leadership said that we were not to have fires, since it was a tactical outing. So I wasn't able to start a fire. Plus, with the conditions that I was under, I would not have been able to have a fire anyway. It also goes to show that sometimes you plan for circumstances. Oh, I can put my tent over here, I can have a fire or a shelter right here. Sometimes it's just out of your control, because we had to bed down as a fire team, and the place where we ended up bedding down, everybody else had little shelters that they brought with them, and I had the hammock, because that's all I got. Well, the only 2 trees that I could hook up to that were close enough to do so were locust trees. And yes, it sucked, and I did not like it, but that's the conditions I was given, so I made do with it. Setting up that hammock and that tarp was a huge pain in the butt, pains in the neck, pain in the hands, the pain in the arms and the legs and the feet, because I was constantly getting stabbed by all those long thorns that are on those trees. They go right through your boots, they go right through your pants, they go right through your jacket, right through your gloves, and it sucked. Getting in and out of it, I had to get down and crawl and be very careful to where I was putting my knees and my hands and my feet and everything to make sure I didn't get stabbed. Crawl in and out. But I guess the only good thing about it is I didn't have to worry about anybody sneaking up on me while I was asleep, because I was surrounded by locust trees and branches, so if anybody had come through there, they would have gotten stuck all over by those locust trees. So I made do with that. Hammock wasn't very comfortable, so no more hammocks. I'm going to be saving up to get some kind of one-man tent. That way I can lay down and not have to worry about finding trees that are close enough together. Plus, it'd be more comfortable to lay on the ground than lay in that stinking hammock again. We then woke up, did another kind of small little patrol just for waking up purposes. It did take, for my second security watch when they woke me up. I was so happy that they got me up to go do that, because my feet were frozen. My legs were cold. I was laying there in my hammock shivering. And while I was getting ready, another thing that added to my shivering is I was wearing body armor the whole time. And body armor does keep you very warm and comfortable, but it's heavy. It was rubbing on my hip bones again. And it also has no airflow, so it makes you sweat. No matter how cold it is outside, you will be sweating underneath your body armor. And I was wearing one of those kind of like an Under Armour shirt, the stretchy material. We used to call them the stretchy shirts. And it just didn't wick the moisture enough when I got my body armor off. So I was sweaty at the same time when I was laying out being cold, so that wasn't good. I probably should have brought a towel, found some little corner of my pack to pack a towel in. But getting up, putting on that body armor, I was shivering from head to toe. But then we started walking and doing our patrols, and I managed to warm up. It took a full hour for me to get the feeling back in my toes. As we were walking and walking and walking, I couldn't feel my toes. They just had kind of that numb, dull feeling. But after a full hour of walking around, I finally got feeling back in my toes and was warmed up enough to where I quit shivering and was comfortable. So we did that. We did another kind of little patrol just to get everybody walking around, woke up, warmed up, get everybody moving. Then we did some more classes. The first class we did on the first night was wild edibles. They had a guy come in, and we just walked around the campsite, and he pointed out all the different plants that were right there just at that job site. What was edible, how to prepare it. There were some medicinal ones in there. what plants looked like edible good plants but were actually not edible because they were poisonous. So that was a good class. The classes we did the second day were over how to set snares, how to find water, how to get the water, how to purify the water, ways for carrying water. Did some of that. We were going to do a live exercise on, they were brought out 2 rabbits. We were going to kill and butcher the rabbits to cook them over a fire and show everybody how to skin it, how to prepare it. But since they decided it's a tactical trip and we weren't going to have any fire, they scrapped that idea, and those rabbits get to live for a little longer. So we ended up not doing that. All in all, it was just a good eye-opener. It points out every trip you take is going to point out some kind of hole or some kind of flaw in either your gear or your tactics. Sometimes just by showing something that you forgot, something that you need to add to your pack. Sometimes how you need to change your pack to make it lighter. For the weather, teaches you different things to pack for different weather. Sometimes it's outside of your control to where the only trees that you have are locust trees. There's nothing I could do. And then all the other trees around there had poison ivy growing up them. I don't want to sleep in poison ivy because I'm allergic to it, and that'll make for a really long, bad day. So it just kind of showed me I've got a new pack on the way, because all I had was my old army rucksack. That thing is huge and bulky and surprisingly doesn't hold very much for what I had. I've got a new pack on the way, some more fire starting options on the way, flashlight, I've got that on the way. I'll be investing at some point, hopefully soon, in a little one-man tent. We'll be getting some survival blankets, stuff like that to keep warm. I do need to get a water filter because I brought water with me, and so did the leadership of this little outing. So we didn't really have to worry about where we were going to get water from and purifying it and all. But I will be getting a portable water filter, probably that Sawyer Mini, because they're cheap and they do up to 100,000 gallons, and you can drink right out of the source, or you can bottle it up and save it for later. So I'll be getting one of those and slowly but surely be getting stuff together. That'll be on a bug out bag playlist. I'll probably take all of those and do a little review on them, see how they work, if they work. And I'll make a playlist most likely out of all of that stuff for the stuff that's going into my bug out bag. So you'll see that when I get it all in. But sometimes in order to be better off later on, you got to suffer for right now. And it just helps you kind of see what you can go through, what you can put up with, and ways to fix it for next time. So that was the survival trip for this one. I think I'm probably going to just take it easy next weekend, since that was 2 weekends back to back where I was going straight from work to out in the woods surviving. And training's always good, so even if it'll suck, it's still going to be good for you. And it makes you appreciate that nice warm bed you have at home even more. Well, I got home after not having any sleep. Got home about noon, between noon and 1. Took a shower and all. Sat down on my chair in the living room. Hold on a second. Got the police officer just got up in front of me. But I got home around between noon and 1, took a shower and sat down on my chair. It was about 2 or 3 o'clock. I passed out in my chair. Took a little unplanned nap, and I slept until dinner was ready, about 5:30, probably about 5. Ate my dinner and told my wife, said, I'm just going to go to bed early tonight. I'm wore out, I'm still tired, I'm going to bed. So I headed to bed about 5:30, and I slept until I woke up for work this morning. And I didn't get out of bed till 5:40. So I slept for a solid 12 hours with a 2 or 3 hour nap before that. So that was pretty nice to be able to do that. I got a good lady at home. She lets me take a nap when it's not planned, even though I don't take a whole lot of naps. It just kind of happen and I can't control it sometimes. But she lets me go to bed when she knows I need to sleep. So I've got a good lady backing me up. I couldn't really ask for much more. She's pretty much perfect. So that's my training deal. We'll let you know on the next one, when the next one's gonna be. I'll keep y'all updated on the bug out bag and the stuff that I get for it. So I'm gonna get back to work. Y'all keep on working.